Right, well in today's review we're back to the brand new items to look at. And as you can see, it's made by Bachmann. You'll have to excuse the state of the box, I know. It really is quite tatty. It has seen better days, obviously. And I have had much better condition boxes, but you know. And this locomotive we're having a look at today is the Collett Goods locomotive. Now in the last review I already did a review on one of these, but that was the Mainline models one, which has now been retired and actually has now been put in the bin. That's because the motor stopped working on it, and so there's no point keeping it. I've kept the wheels off the tender and stuck them in my spares box, and the lamps, but nothing else has pretty much survived from it, so the locomotive's now in the bin. But you know, it stopped working, but then it wasn't really that much of a good model anyway. These models are supposed to be better. The price tag there I've scribbled out. It does faintly say there though, £42. It didn't even cost that much. It was only something like 35 quid, which is what I don't understand, to be honest, considering it came from S&J, because these second hand they usually go to around 40 or 50 quid. 35 quid, pff, that's bargain. That's probably bargain of the year actually. Well, not entirely bargain of the year, because that goes to 50p on milkshakes in Tesco, which they've now stopped that for some reason. But oh well. But it is one of the bargains of the year, you've got to be honest. And it is well, the running number is 2251. I don't know why they printed that on the box twice. As you can see, it says 2251, Collett Goods 2251. Why? The reference number is 32303, and it's in BR green with the early emblem, and it's unlined as well. Now, S&J models had two of these for sale. They had this one and BR black, unlined. I went for this one because, well, I had previously already owned a BR black Collett Goods, so it made more sense to get a different livery, if you know what I'm saying. But anyway, let's get this open and see what it's like. We've got the polystyrene got stuck to the box then, so standard box. We'll throw that away. Well, not virtually throw it away, but we'll put it to one side. Then you get this from S&J models, about stock wanted. Yeah. And then there it is. You get no instructions for the model, but you do get a pack of details which is unopened, which is hard to get out. And it's pretty much the usual things we're used to: brake pipes and brake rods. So there's not much in there, but oh well. And then all we're left to do now is to take the locomotive and the tender out the polystyrene tray. And it's still wrapped in the tissue paper. Right. We'll start with the locomotive. I know I've said this before and I'll say it again, I don't like the tissue paper, because it's terrible. And so here's the locomotive. Well, first of all, it could do with a little bit of a dusting down. And we will do that now. Well, there's a big chunk of polystyrene there. All this polystyrene. Right, there we go. Sorry about that, but I had to do it. I had to get it clean. And so, there we are. So, what can we say about it? Well, first of all, there's a lot of weight in this. It really is quite heavy. And that's more than the... There's another bit of polystyrene there I missed. That is actually more weight in it in this one than the Mainline models was. Well, the Mainline models model had. There's more weight in this one. Ugh. You know what I mean. But that's good, because it needs the weight to pull trains. There's some rivets on the buffer beam and where the brake pipes go. And there's lampines on the running board there, like there should be. Sprung buffers, of course. There is a NEM socket on the front there, but that's the one for the dovetail coupling. You have some cab steps there, as you can see. There's rivets on the cab and on the side of the cab. That's where the loco connects to the tender. You get some wire metal handrails going down the side there, and glazing in the cab windows where there should be, and there's glazing in all the windows. There's the running number, 2251. Now that is printed on the model, but you could find some etched ones if you wanted to and put them on. There's some nice detailing there that's been put on separately. The livery is spot on. It really is accurate. There's no lines anywhere, as there should be, because there was no lines on this livery. It's basically similar to the GWR green. There are separate handrails going along down the sides of the model. You've got some more detailing here, as well as the typical GWR safety valve and whistles. The cab has no vent on the top, but that's what it was like in reality anyway. And there's the funnel with a turned brass copper cap chimney. Well, not a copper cap chimney, a brass funnel cap. But some of them were copper caps. Then at the front of the model, you have the running number, of course, 2251. And the smoke box door handles there at the front. The smoke box door doesn't open, but it doesn't really need to. And there is a shed code at the front which reads 89C. And that's the shed code for Machynlleth, which is Welsh basically. So this locomotive was based in Wales, which is pretty cool. There's some more detailing down there, and that's the reversing lever. And as you can see, just like with the prototype, you can see through the side under the boiler, just like it should be. You also get some small handrails here and here. You've got the side rods, no valve gear or link motion, but then that's like it was with the real one. There's rivets on the boiler as well, and on the smoke box. Then if you turn to the cab, you have cab detailing. It's not painted, but I will paint it myself. I'll pick out bits and paint it. But why couldn't Mainline models do this? Very cleverly the motor is hidden up here, but Bachmann has still been able to put cab detailing in there, which looks much better than a motor protruding inside the cab. Then there's the rivets on the back of the loco there as well, as you can see. So that's pretty much it for the loco. We'll move the brush out the way. Now we'll look at the tender. So here's the tender. There's not much weight in it, but then there doesn't really need to be that much weight in it anyway. But it's not too heavy, but there's a fair decent amount in it. Just took that bit of polystyrene there. That's basically where the tender connects to the loco. And what's good is you don't have a silly, massive long gap in the middle, like the Mainline models one. Here's the faceplate of the tender. It is detailed. You get these handles here that transfers water from the tender to the boiler. They're not painted, but then they're still there anyway. You have rivets on the underframe of the tender and the cab steps here, and the axle boxes and springs. Metal wheels, of course, as you would expect from Bachmann. And that's a water scoop to pick up water from the troughs, as you can see. These are where the brake rods go. Rivets on the tender like they should be. And a very nice early emblem. The coal load, it's not removable, but I will carefully scatter my own real coal load on the top of it. That's basically where the water goes into. There's obviously a coupling at the back, which, well, you can't actually remove it. Well, you can, but there's a screw, but it's not like the one on the front. Look, dovetail connection, NEM socket, and that's got a screw in it. So that's actually quite unusual, but oh well. Sprung buffers at the back, obviously like the ones at the front. Handrails on the tender as well, separate ones, not moulded ones. And you get some lamp irons on the back there as well, and rivets on the buffer beam. And again, accurate livery application. And that's basically it, to be honest. There's not much else to say. So, let's put this loco on the tracks and see how it runs. Right, so here at the tracks, and we're putting the Collett Goods onto the track. And that was quite simple there, very easy because it's only an 060. And then the tender. In fact, that's probably the quickest time it's taken me to put a locomotive on the tracks. So now, all we need to do is give her some juice. Oh yeah, look at that, she runs. Well, that is actually quite smooth. It's much better running than the Mainline models one. Here she comes out the tunnel, over the level crossing. Look at the side rods moving. And you can even see the wheels moving on the other side of that gap where the boiler is. Passing the seaside. I know it's looking like a ghost town or a ghost beach, if you want to call it, but it will have some people and stuff on it in time. And that bit over there needs detailing as well. Passing the station, passing the signal box, and Austin Powers Jaguar, of course, and back through the tunnel. Right, well, this has actually been a fairly quick review, but I didn't really want to spend too long looking at this locomotive. But what I will do at the end of this review, I will couple this locomotive up to a goods train, have a running around the layout in a few shots, and I'll let you decide in your own conclusion what you think of this model. Personally, for me, these are better than the Mainline models ones. More reliable, more up to date, and more detailed, in my opinion.